start streaming. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me create. Let me just go live. That should just be...
Go it live.
There we go. Okay. Now it's working. Haha. But I just had to use my old tower, my old sessions.
Holy Jesus.
Okay, hold on. Okay, let me create.
What's that noise?
Let me just go live. That should just be...
Go it live.
There we go.
I like hearing myself.
Okay. Now it's working. Haha. But I just had to use my old tower, my old sessions.
Holy Jesus.
Okay, it's on Twitter now. Okay, whatever. Yeast in the void. Hello guys, this is Bailey Burnstead. Welcome to my little stream. I am labeling this under my old game dev streams. They changed. Here we go.
I like hearing myself.
Okay. Now it's working. Haha. Yeah, let's not have the stream running in the background. Okay, now we have a stream running. They confirm the stream is running. OBS is set up. It has my art from my old game dev days running. So we're going to be talking about tech, nerd stuff. I'm Billy Burnstead. This is my friend ST. We're going to be running this stream for about an hour every Friday from now on. This is just our first podcast style / stream. We're going to have it formal organized in the future.
Hopefully so.
Hopefully. Well, maybe we'll do it in our different offices and then do it over Discord or something.
We'll just test every location and see if it works or not.
Every location, yeah. Different locations, different environments. Sounds good. Basically, we're going to be going over different topics. Everything from AI to just general tech news and other stuff. So let's think. I'm going to mute my phone real quick. Put it on Do Not Disturb because this is a real professional stream, guys.
They will do everything. They'll just keep their phone on just to make sure no one's...
Yeah. So, ST, how about we talk more about yourself? Like, what kind of work do you do?
So yeah, hey guys, my name's ST and I run... I'm basically what I call a master of many things, or let's just say a jack of all trades, master of none. So that's just a right joke, but... Yeah, I'm the co-founder and CEO of this startup called Sobo. We are an AI-powered B2B marketplace where we help solve small business issues by helping them connect with fractional experts or fractional consultants. And the way we do that is that we try to really use AI to help diagnose what problems your business is facing and how we can connect them with these fractional consultants. And I also host another podcast called the Next in Time Podcast where I interview visionaries and founders who really are into... I want to talk about what they're building, why they're building it. And last but not least, I'm also an author of 3 books. So 3 fiction books, to be exact. Yeah. So that's kind of my introduction here.
I am Bailey Burnstead. I am a full-stack software engineer and also kind of a jack of all trades. I've been working as a freelance engineer for a long time. I do a mixture of mostly Python and TypeScript, but I'm getting more into Rust and Go. And my hobby is game development, so of course I got to do some C and C++ for that. The background image is the art in my old game, which I want to finish one of these days. It was kind of too big, so I'm breaking it up into multiple small games and then set them in the same universe, so I actually get used to shipping stuff, so eventually I will be able to ship by Dream Game. I'm also the CTO of a startup. NDA, can't talk about it now until we go out of the beta testing, but that's coming along well. And I build a lot of my own apps, a lot of my own games.
That's a lot what you do, Bailey.
Well, standard autistic ADD person.
We're like the same. We're like we just can't stop resting. If we get something completed, we still feel like it's still inadequate.
If I'm not working, I'm not mentally well. Like, I can't.
Yeah, I remember when I really deal with these moments where I was like, when I just sit down and do nothing, I feel like I'm like the laziest guy on the planet.
Yeah, I have to work or I go insane. It's not healthy, but it's not healthy, but it's not unhealthy. Yeah, I got the stream going. Eventually, this stream is labeled "Building a Space Tower Defense Game in Godot," and that's what, for some reason, the just turn stream on just does that. For some reason, so let's look at the analytics to see how many people are watching our little stream. There was one watching, maybe me.
Probably yourself.
Well.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to have yourself watching that.
Well, we have to have some algorithmic feedback where there is no growth.
Can you make that at the top of the stream or not?
Actually, you know what? There are people who have streaming plugins that do that, and there's a software called Restream, which just streams multiple things, and you can do that with free plugins in OBS.
Yeah.
And then Restream has another paid service that clips your stuff, make clips.
Yeah.
But really, I could probably write a script using Python Whisper to do that.
How many scripts do you need for that?
Couple. And honestly, it's not a very complicated script. That's something you could reasonably vibe code. AI vibe coding is only good for very, very prototypey or very, very simple software.
Yeah.
Like, I've lost all my major freelance clients to vibe coding. Basically, they thought they were communicating clearly, and they weren't. I was like, based on this, there's 10 different ways it could work. And they just thought I didn't know what I'm talking, didn't know anything. The standard freelancer client that thinks they know everything. And then they start vibe coding, and hopefully they're fine, but I've already had clients try to come back to me after vibe coding, and I just charge a ridiculous rate just to unfuck the code, because it's just disgusting.
How much do they charge? How much are you charging those guys?
If I charge an hourly rate, I charge $150 an hour.
That's a lot.
Or if I create a productized service, I charge a flat $4,000 a month for a limited task one at a time.
Do you do this on a fractional basis, or?
Yeah, the productized service is a fractional basis, and the idea is that most small businesses need very basic stuff, and that is the kind of stuff that I could reasonably vibe code and it would work, because they just need a little script here, a little script there, a little thing there. But if they need like a full-on SaaS, I've had clients want me to vibe code them a proper SaaS on the productized service, and the productized developer service, which is like a fractional developer thing, just doesn't work. As a fractional CTO, it would work, because I can just tell them, break it down, architect it for them, design it for them, and then have all the spec files. Like, I like spec-driven development, and not because of AI.
Yeah.
I have ADD. So I do test-driven development, behavior-driven development, and spec-driven development. I declare the behavior I want the app to have.
Yeah.
I have the spec for how it should be engineered, should be architected, etc., to prevent the ADD scope and feature creep. And then test-driven development, so it kind of gamifies programming. So when you get all the tests passing, you get a massive dopamine rush. It's amazing. But with vibe coding, if you have spec-driven development and you have the requirements for how the software should be architected and engineered, behavior-driven development, which describes how it should behave, and then have it generate tests, and then do test-driven development, it does decent code. Decent. Like an okay junior dev.
Right.
There's potential, but it's not yet replacing senior engineers.
Right. I mean, because one thing about vibe coding is that it's kind of a tool. It's just made coding easier. Like everyone, the new trend right now in the software development space is vibe coding, and everyone's saying, hey, if you just learn how to vibe code, you could be able to build your apps more seamlessly without any sort of deeper knowledge of programming. And
that is not true. The thing is, to get AI to write good code, you have to already know what good code is to then prompt the AI to write good code.
Yeah.
What it really does, it's a multiplier. But the quote, the primogen, not everyone's positive. Most people are negatives.
Yeah.
So if you multiply negative, you get a bigger negative number.
Yeah.
So you get people who don't know anything about coding, vibe coding their app, and they're surprised they got hacked.
Well, that's crazy.
No, seriously, like the Molt book was entirely vibe coded. Molt book is getting hacked all the time because there's no authentication in the back end.
Yeah.
There's tons of tons of stories of this person. Like, for example, I forget the exact story. I'll have the receipts to the next stream chat, but we'll have to do some research. Maybe we should just do a week of research and then do a review of like this week in tech.
What is this week in tech? I mean, right now we're on a Friday.
We're on a Friday,
and we're just like we're winding down a long week of work and a long week of different developments that have been taking place in tech.
Apparently there are Reddits and Discord servers censoring real human beings for using the word clanker.
Clankers.
It's racist towards AI. It's offensive. No, people are just dumb. Yeah. So, let's just look at the stream. Let's just keep going till 10 o'clock.
Or we can go for another 20 minutes.
Go another 20 minutes? Okay.
Yeah, because probably it's the first time, and we're just trying to learn the ropes of how to stream these things.
Yeah, well, OBS needs to be set up correctly. I need to have OBS set up, so the next checklist for the next stream is set OBS correctly.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it at the switch yards again, because this is quiet.
Yeah, it's like the best place to really do it, I think.
Yeah.
I think one thing is that I think this whole week I've been kind of busy with a lot of different activities at work.
Yeah.
And to the point where now I'm like, all right, I think my brain's trying to shut off.
So as a CTO, what I use AI for is to delegate the boilerplate, the boilerplatey stuff that I don't want to write myself to the AI.
Right.
How do you use AI?
I think how do I use AI? I just think about what my problem is before I start asking AI for what I should do. Like, for example, I've used AI for a multitude of things. Let's say I have some problems, like I want to solve this one problem at work, or this one problem with a tech tool that I'm trying to use for something else. And I think what I do is I don't try to get engaged with AI so quickly, or if I did, I kind of fool around with it. For example, if I use ChatGPT, then I use Claude, then I use Gemini. Those are like my three main AGI tools.
Cool. So you use more of a spectrum workflow. You're defining the requirements.
My way of working is just like I don't like to. I just need some companion with me. Let's say an AI companion to be able to at least help me think things properly.
That makes perfect sense. That is essentially using it as an architect, using it as an assistant, using it as a...
It's basically your companion. I think AI has become more of our own companions than fellow humans.
Oh, okay. That brings me on to people are using AI as a therapist. And that is one really terrible and terrifying, but understandable. Because, every time I go to a therapist, and they'll say, frankly, if you say anything that we think is too off, we'll call the police on you and or forcibly hospitalize you. And I'm like, then I'm not going to say a word to you. But, again, I wouldn't use, unless it's something like I couldn't use a local AI for, and I'm just asking a benign question, I wouldn't talk about my deepest personal things to a public AI.
I mean, do you think it's public because your account is safeguarded against?
No, it's those things they're.
I mean, I know that the model will start kind of doing more. Will just absorb all that data.
Oh, ChatGPT is putting ads. So all these people who are using ChatGPT as a personal therapist, they have all the data they need to emotionally manipulate you into buying the most random stuff now.
For example, let's say I have a problem with my personal life, and I write it all in ChatGPT or write it on Claude. Let's just do ChatGPT.
I would use Quinn for that. Quinn locally. I wouldn't use any proprietary hosted AI. It would be on my own little thing.
Have you built it yourself or what's?
You can self-host Quinn on a 500 Linux VPS. I'm following this guy on Medium. He's using Gamma. I'm going to use Twin for this instead. And I am using this on my Linux box, and I want to get it up and running soon as part of the tutorial I'm writing, a Django tutorial, on having a AI-powered SaaS running on a $5 a month Linux server. But some ordinary gamers had a video where we had running locally web UI wrapped around Llama and open models, and hosted in the cloud web UI on smaller models. Right. They can run on a VPS, and it's great. Like, if you're very, like, I am moving to self-hosting more and more of my own stuff because I can afford a $30 a month subscription and then have full access to the software.
Yeah.
I'm tired of, like, software I'm using having, like, the features I'm used to being hidden under increasingly higher and higher subscription tiers. And
it's like basically, you can only use so much of this amount of the software, but then until you start paying higher premium prices for even more access to other features.
Yeah, and it's like most subscription software I use is just no longer usable because I don't have thousands of dollars for subscriptions. Okay. So open source software that can self-host my own Docker container and go and get a more powerful machine. Like there's VPSs for $100 to $300, so you get a GPU-powered VPS. And a GPU-powered VPS for $300 a month, I can have all my own local open-source models running locally, running on the cloud on that server, or I could just buy a more powerful laptop. Because
I mean, let's say, for example, if it were back like, let's say, one generation ago, 30 years ago, you had to buy a large screen monitor and a large CPU just to be able to host like several hundred gigs of data. Right?
Yeah.
Now it's like you can host like even multiple terabytes of data in just like a small laptop now.
Yeah. Like honestly, I don't like subscriptions. I understand, like, I'm part of the reason why I'm starting this live stream / podcast is so I can advertise myself, and I'll have you on ST, I'll have my friend Hannah, I'll have all my friends over so we can advertise our products.
Yeah.
But one of the things that pisses me off, unless it's something that makes, like, from an engineering standpoint, makes logical sense to be a subscription, I'm tired of things being subscriptions. Like, I would rather have a Patreon live stream. Like, a patron's own, like, let's say my game.
Let's say, for example, if we're live streaming this show, I don't say this episode, this stream right now, and
yeah.
you decide to connect that to your Patreon account.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, if someone wants to, fund it, they can just pay like a small amount, and that could just go into, that can just be used through Patreon. Right?
Yeah, like there's patron only, like for example, there's a video game I play. It's open source called OpenRA.
Yeah.
There are servers, there are forum members, and the forum uses Patreon as the payment processor.
Yeah.
But there's members only features.
Right.
It's open source. You can compile that stuff and do it yourself. But if you want to go onto servers that have the servers are all community maintained. They have like this federated architecture that you can host a VPS and go. Actually, I want to build my own game. It'll be open source, kind of like a MMO.
Yeah.
And right now the games will be broken up into sub games. They'll be their own separate games because just like the scope got too big. The reason why I learned Spectrum development is to prevent what happened with my game. My game started as a space roguelike, then grew into a space sim like X or E, like X, and then evolved into a first-person perspective 4X grand strategy game.
Really?
It's a bit of a complicated thing.
It's just like the more let's say, for example, if one thing fails, you start looking into more. How do you get this fixed? And then once that's fixed, the problem starts scaling more, and then now you got to get more. You got to scale yourself up to get that problem fixed.
Yeah. So what I want to do is build like a federated architecture for video games. Yeah. So let's say my Doom clone game can be in the same universe. Not EVE Online, like the first-person shooter and the space shooter game are in the same universe as the main space game.
Yeah. And
they share the same server but different gameplay experience.
Yeah.
Imagine an open source community-funded game where you spin up on a VPS the server for the first-person shooter, or for the space shooter, or for the simulation game, but they all have a federated architecture like IRC or something,
right?
and that allows you to like the lore and shit that is partially generated by AI agents and AI servers, and it will use open source AI models that can run locally on your device. Like this ThinkPad can run Qwen2 Coder, 1.5B. It's amazing. Now
how many gigs of RAM is in this ThinkPad?
This ThinkPad only has 8 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
But it can be upgraded to have like
how much data? How many bytes of data can it store?
I think a few terabytes, but I can upgrade it.
Yeah, really?
This thing's running Arch Linux.
Yeah.
Like literally, I can do whatever I want. Right now,
when you connect, so basically, when you run this on Linux, that means you're connected to what I call a remote server or something.
No, it's the models running locally on here.
Really?
But I could run bigger models on my main machine and then stream it to here. Again, all the cloud is someone else's computer with someone else's GPU, someone else's CPU, and someone else's SSD, and someone else's RAM.
Yeah, basically that's what cloud is. Basically a shared network. It's not like one server. It's not like a one large server. It's like a network of servers.
Like a lot of people, like I'm very pro consumer rights. I think what's his name, the Louis Rossman's doing is very good, but at the same time, as an autistic person myself, and we all suspect Louis Rossman is slightly autistic, I assume, like, everyone knows this basic stuff.
Right.
Like, I've been talking to my sister. She owns the startup that I'm employed at. And I try to...
Tell me about the startup.
Nope, it's all NDA until public announced.
Okay. Well, whatever it is, it's like you're the CTO.
I'm the CTO. I won't use my sister's example because NDA reasons. I'll use my freelance client's example. But the same thing happened, but it took my sister being a brutally honest, good sister to an autistic person to realize I was the problem.
Was your sister autistic?
No. I took what is functionally Introduction to Computers in kindergarten.
Right.
That is now a college class. So when I was freelancing, the reason why a lot of the freelance clients probably dropped me for vibe coding is because I was assuming they had what I considered basic computer knowledge.
Basic? Like what? How old was that? Were you on that?
This is last year.
Last year, they thought you were like you only had basic computer.
No. Most people, I thought what I consider to be basic computer knowledge is like knowing different parts of your operating system, knowing I/O input devices, knowing what I/O is, input output, knowing what different I/O input device, knowing the different parts of your OS. Know the different hardware parts of your computer, the CPU, the GPU, the sound card, all that stuff. Knowing that basic, what I was taught in kindergarten. Knowing basic file types. Apparently, people don't know what file types are. Like, people legitimately don't know that in Google Doc is just rendering Markdown. And if you don't want to, drop, click format, you can just £, like 1 £sign for H1, 3 £signs for H3 to have your headers, because it's all just Markdown.
Right.
People don't know that.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. So I've had, my sister got angry at me when I tried to just send me to Markdown, because I'm like, who doesn't know what Markdown is? Like, you mean you're not on forums as a kid and Reddit as a kid? Because Reddit is just the forum that ate all the forums.
Like, Reddit used to be very... it felt like very nice to learn about different perspectives of different topics.
Reddit.
But now Reddit has become more like a negative echo chamber.
Oh god, Reddit drives me crazy. Same with Twitter. Twitter's better because Twitter's algorithm is open source, and I have a lot of friends. Some of our I'm not political, but I have political friends on both sides of the aisle, and they either love or hate Twitter. But the ones that are left wing, I have to explain. Twitter's recommendation algorithm is open source. And unfortunately, if only thing you see in a new Twitter account are things that piss you off, all social media algorithms want engagement, and hate farming is very effective.
Yeah, I mean, one thing is when I'm on Twitter, when I'm on X, is like if I just look at one post on X that is very negative, just out of curiosity, then eventually my whole feed starts falling. It just basically builds up, and then in turn becomes very negative.
I built a Twitter bot. I run it on my 5.5-month Linux server. I took it down for now. Right now it's a simple cron job that posts random stuff. Now I'm going to into a proper agentic system that will be basically a robo shit poster. And I wanted to just seed my Twitter with data I like.
Right.
Because Twitter's algorithm's open source, I know exactly how it works. Therefore, I can fine tune it to get what I want, and I don't want nonsense. And
I think I feel like I think the strategy is to be able to just pick the right post that feels like, okay, you want to. I mean, I think there's a term called like vibe posting or something.
Vibe posting. Well, my AI.
It's like vibe post. Like if it's very pleasant to read about. It's like reading a little section of a book versus reading a whole reading someone's rants.
Yeah, that's how I post. But I actually think I should build a command line tool that allow me to just have a now section on my website and it just be all markdown. And then I just, write little notes, and then it indicates elsewhere. Because that was the idea behind a SaaS I tried to build called bulk post. But Twitter's API was poorly documented then, and now it's well documented, but it's retardedly expensive. So I can't afford it.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing with bulk post, again, I wonder if I don't run VPS, is I want to build an AI agent that is hooked up to reads all my tweets, reads my blog, reads everything, reads all my documents, and then tweets in my style.
Yeah.
And just
how are you trying to make it like written in your style?
It's going to be a RAG application using Pythonic AI. I'm going to have it read through Twitter all my posts ever, and then the ones that have the most upvotes and just the most successful tweets.
Yeah.
Will go into the knowledge base. I'll have my blog. My blog's all markdown files. That will go into the knowledge base. It'll be I want to call it a context management solution. Okay. There's content management solutions. I want a context management solutions. So imagine a CRM, a content management solution, a customer relations system, and a bunch of other stuff merged into one. And then it not only, in theory, you could help you automate your marketing by what content got customers, and then the AI learns what content got customers, and then writes content, either post or helps you write blog posts in your style.
Okay.
I want to be an assistant primarily because I can sit down on a timer and pretty much write 500 words in 30 to 50 minutes.
Right.
I am trying to get into a routine where I write 50 lines of code, 500 words a day, starting small. I know before I used AI, I was writing thousands of words and hundreds or thousands of lines of code a day. And then my raw coding and syntax knowledge has atrophied since going very heavy into AI. And that was a mistake the whole industry realized. Like AI objectively, like this AI augmented programming is not as good as it's overhyped to be.
Right.
And let's be frank, all these large proprietary models are going to go away eventually.
I mean, they say the chat. I think there'll be a time when, before when the internet started, it was what I call the golden age of .com companies that went bust. Then,
yeah.
Then you had the golden age of social media that went bust. Then the golden age of different I think the golden age of search engines that's now it's starting to morph into AI AI search, and now I think after that it was the golden age of crypto.
Well, crypto never got adoption. I like blockchain as an idea.
Yeah, it's blockchain.
It's a read-write only database, and smart contracts are when state has been verified to change database, run this, and that's an amazing idea. And there's actually a crypto startup here in Atlanta, because of course there's crypto startups all the time here in Atlanta.
Well,
but
I didn't know that. Crypto was more like a Miami thing.
It's a Miami, Atlanta thing.
Okay.
But pretty much every rapper in Atlanta
has their own coin.
Has their own coin.
Okay, that's their own coin. Yeah.
I mean,
It's like, yeah, they just need a meme coin for that thing to go up and then sell it out and then, all right, make a fortune. And that's kind of how the whole thing is running. The whole whole crypto industry is going as.
That's essentially what it stopped being smart contracts and read-write only.
Remember the term DeFi?
I actually loved the idea, decentralized finance. But I knew it's a good idea. Algorithmically controlled, no central bank, no government, just printing money. Decentralized, actually fair, all that good idea. Unfortunately, that would mean it would threaten the petrodollar, and then
yeah, that's right. No, it was I think it was in the early 2020s, late 2010s, where people were really hyped up. They want to see the dollar collapse. They want to see central banks collapse, and just be like, hey, we can finally have power as the people by having decentralized finance and be able to make our own versions of a bank, make our own banks and be able to transact with our own trusted currency rather than having to rely upon a fiat currency.
And that wasn't going to work for a long list of reasons. I mean, purely from a technical standpoint, until recently, there wasn't a trustless way of backing up and restoring private keys. So things like not a cryptocurrency, but all OAuth passes wouldn't work. IBM solved that, so now FIDO token OAuth passes are viable because grandma will eventually forget her login, and if her private key to log into Facebook is also the private key to spend money, and she can't back that up. Problem
unto itself.
That's a problem. Technical problems, which are solvable. And then there's the social problem of people not trusting it.
Yeah.
And then there's the government problem of the reason why governments got off of the gold standard to fiat currency is because they can have full control.
Yeah.
And that gives them power.
Right.
You think they're going to go to a cryptocurrency?
Mm-hmm.
No, they're going to Brazil has PIX or something, which is a central bank digital currency, and it has.
I think El Salvador wanted to make Bitcoin the official currency.
A legal tender, not the legal tender.
Okay.
And they did, and their economy went well. And what they did, their economy boomed. A lot of countries, small countries, have done stuff like Singapore has tokenized their dollar, the Ethereum blockchain. So for them to print more dollars, they have to have more Ethereum to then mint something dark side, and then that drove investment. Similar thing for El Salvador, those are countries that have these more libertarian people running it. They have Bitcoin, and oftentimes they have a government-made cryptocurrency wallet. So, cryptocurrency wallets what's referred to as a dev tax. The official cryptocurrency wallet has the smallest dev tax, obviously, but if the government makes one, they can take a cut of every transaction and have a easy-to-implement inclusive sales tax. Literally just take a cut of every transaction, and then no one will be able to avoid paying taxes, because if the taxes are literally just a cut of every transaction, and
yeah,
and well,
I mean, I don't know. I think the scale is very complicated. That's for sure.
Well, it's interesting technology. Again, all blockchain is a read-write only database composed of a linked list of hashes. Things like MongoDB or another NoSQL databases. They're just hash tables. They're just hash map data structure. And I forget the data structure we're talking SQL databases with a different data structure. This is why I don't really understand the hype around, same with blockchain, same with large language models. Large language models, they're less of an AI and they're more of a database with fuzzy search with English as the query language. It is
you cannot generate natural language processing in other languages. You can't code in another language, basically.
Yes.
I know. I mean, their story. I see Chinese do their when I see the Chinese do their own coding. They do it in Chinese. Is that true or?
Oh, I don't know, but I don't know about that. But interesting thing about language, like human language, because English is very information dense, it is easier to vectorize, and a few other for several reasons. English is easier to vectorize. The way our English language, the language.
I think because all of our scientific papers, especially in the last century to now, is all written in English.
Not only that, the way English language works, our alphabet is easier to vectorize, and English
define vectorize.
Okay, large language models. What they're doing, a token is a vector that represents part of a word or part of an idea. Large language models, like all human language are data compression formats for human ideas. Written languages are just how we write down human ideas.
Right.
What a vectorization, and large language models are based on vector calculus and linear algebra. A vector and a set are mathematical ways of representing real-world things. Yeah. Now remember, I am just saying this from a layman, 10,000 foot overhead of what this is. So a vector, and this says tokenization, is a token in a large language model is a vector that represents either a whole idea or a whole word or a part of an idea or a part of a word.
Okay.
Something, I don't remember the full paper. Again, this is our first rough, just screw it, we're going after this podcast. The first, we should probably use Whisper to transcribe this, and then generate podcast talking points, and then we bring up receipts and have more in-depth conversations about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on what our fellow audience what our audience wants.
Depends on what our audience wants. Yeah, we do need to have more engagements, but the reason why I like to talk about the vector math is everything from encryption.
It's just also vector math. It's very highly complex level of math.
Not really. Okay, Richard Feynman has this wonderful. He's dead now, but he had this wonderful video that was from when he taught at Harvard, and in one 30-minute long video. A lecture. He takes you from basic arithmetic all the way up to multivariate
calculus.
Yeah, and it's all logically coherent from one to another.
Wow. The
problem with our schools, I'm public school. Did you go to public school or private school?
Okay, from basically K through middle school, it was private, and then high school was public. College was public, but then grad school was also public, but it was in the UK. So I was like, okay, I just kept going east from where I grew up to.
Okay. Well, the way they teach math in public school, it makes people think it's really complicated, and they're never going to use this.
And I'll tell you this, I did a lot of after-school math. That's the reason why I was pretty good at decent until let's say trigonometry.
Okay, that's reasonable.
But I think I learned first level calculus. But once the level of calculus started getting more complex, I was I think my brain was not able to take it, especially in college.
I love math. I de-stress by doing math. There was one time I was suicidally depressed, and I don't know if I was checking the mental hospital that day. But I wasn't. My dad just managed to cheer me up, and the way he cheered me up was he saw someone in the dumb people will doodle in the bathroom, public toilets.
Yeah.
This person wasn't dumb, and he put the most ridiculous mathematical equation: solve
it.
I'm sitting there. They're going to check me into the hospital for suicidal levels of depression. My dad just solve this.
Why does it feel like it's a reference to Good Will Hunting?
Well, it was at a Chick-fil-A near a mental health hospital. So.
No, but you just put on. It's like the professor. You've seen the movie Good Will Hunting. It's like the professor puts a problem on a board, and then just Will Hunting, the janitor, just goes ahead and solves it, and then that's where it all begins.
I need to watch that movie. But yeah, math cheers me up. Yeah. It's actually funny. I get depressed when I feel I can't solve problems, so I start programming, and then tests start passing, so I'm solving problems, so I feel better.
I think it's think the character wheel hunting is like pretty relatable to what you are and where you come from.
Well, I'll have to watch that movie then.
Yeah, you gotta watch that. Basically, it symbolizes who you are.
Ah, interesting. I'm going to be testing to see if this stream is still going. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, this stream... So I'm solving problems. Testing? So yeah, I feel better. I think it's like okay, is anyone watching? There's 4 views. Okay, there's 4 views of this stream. Let me drop a thing. Anyone here? Okay. Complete and utter amateurs. Average view duration is 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
I think we're just like talking a lot of nonsense.
We are talking a lot of nonsense. We had no plan for this stream. So...
That's what streams are, right? I listen to a lot of streams and they're very...
Yes,
ad-libbed.
They're ad-libbed, but they have a structure. Yeah. Like, there's a YouTuber who's a former 40K YouTuber. He started doing a lot of the Culture War podcast after somewhere. I'm not going to the cultural bullshit. I'm just stating he ad-libs everything, but he has planned segments, and sometimes the segments go longer than they should.
I used to, like, for my podcast, I used to follow a script for the first couple of episodes, and then afterwards, I just, like, understood the flow, how I can lead the podcast without having to go into reading scripts all the time. I can just, like, ad-lib the whole podcast, and then also it's, like, more of an interview-based format where I just ask questions.
Okay. So, what, should we, okay. Let's fire up the Discord.
Fire up the Discord.
And Discord. I have to update my ArcLink machine. Also, I've been using freaking GNOME as my main desktop environment. I don't like GNOME that much. I'm thinking about going to either Neri with Dank Material UI or Hyperland with Dank Material UI. What do you think?
I have no idea.
You're a Mac user, aren't you?
Yeah. I use a Mac. I'm not that smart on really understanding every single component of it.
Well, Mac OS is just FreeBSD pre-configured.
Yeah.
Linux is the kernel, not an OS. And you just and it's a modular and all that stuff. So okay, I updated. I figured it out. Okay. Updated my Discord. Let's see how many people. I think.
We're just here to just keep track of all the numbers on a live stream.
Yeah. Well.
How big is your Discord?
This is just a friend. Hold on, that's not. Let's see if we can get this live stream going. Okay. Or are we ending it soon?
I think we're gonna end it now. I think we'll just have to reconvene next week.
Reconvene next week? Well, how about... Okay, guys, we reconvene on live stream next week, and we'll have the proper things set up, because it is saying it's my stream of building a space tower defense game in Godot, not our Autism Tech stream. The Autism Tech stream wasn't configured correctly. We gotta get that configured correctly, and then... Yeah. Also, do you want to start live streaming game development together?
Game development.
Or building our own apps together. Like there was the Primogen started live streaming vibe coding and just then roasting the horrible code.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's see what's going on. Someone's typing for this.
Oh, that is...
What is that?
This is a member of the PyATL.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a co-writer of the PyATL, so I just sent it to the other PyATL guys. I am going to be starting several live streams.
Yeah.
And the live streams are going to be a mixture of... I want something to be more of a general tech podcast, because then everyone...
I think mine's more... I'd fit better in the discussion side more than the vibe coding.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to be vibe coding. Like again,
I think or the idea would be you vibe code it. We can talk about it and we just look at it.
Or we could we could talk shit about tech while we build tech. I also need to get a depth Discord. My goal with this stream is to have it be professional, so I can get really, really qualified clients. And my goal of the stream is just to get an audience for my games and have a content source to edit, clip, and then content farm.
Yeah.
Because I'm one of those really into. I like everything I do having multiple outcomes. So if I stream something, I can then, let's say every Sunday, stream myself playing games, and then I'm taking notes on what, like, let's say I want to have a colony, let's say I want a colony manager in my universe.
Right.
So I play RimWorld, everyone's favorite colony manager, right? Have you played RimWorld?
Not really. I don't get a chance to play much games anymore. I think we should have a game night.
Live stream game night where everyone in the group chat plays.
Basically, every week is gonna be like 1 week, or we talk about something about tech. The other week we do a little vibe coding. The other week we play games, or we design games, or whatever we do.
Okay, because I have multiple old live streams. I'm gonna start back up.
I think there's like so much. There's just so many opportunities where we can just do a lot of different things rather than just be stuck with one kind of streaming.
Yeah, that's true. Like I
mean, look. The only reason my podcast has been going strongly for like the last nearly 4 years now is because I just kept changing I keep changing the types of guests that I have. I don't have like one particular guest.
Well, tell me about your podcast.
So my podcast is called the Next in Time Podcast. As I mentioned earlier, I interview visionaries and founders, and we just like talk about what you're building, why you're building it, and how you make an impact in your industry and in your world that you're trying to solve.
Well, then you're going to have to interview my sister to get her app after it's done being tested beta internal.
Once the NDA part is taken care of, I guess.
Well, it's just internal testing, and then when it goes from an internal test to an actual public software, then yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well,
and then you could have me on there. Do you charge people to be on the podcast? You could.
I wish, but right now I gotta keep it running because I have
how much people are on your podcast?
How much what?
How many people are on your podcast?
One per 170 episodes.
170 episodes. How many views do you get?
About like 50, a couple hundred, like 100.
100?
50 to 100
per view per episode.
Like per person, yeah, on average.
How much do you make?
A couple hundred.
Better than me, make nothing.
No, it's like, I'm basically part of this platform called Podmatch, where I just like, if I get some of the guests on my show, I get a commission payout.
Nice. I have a large LinkedIn mailing list of something like.
I think I make a couple thousand on my show right now, so in total.
Nice. I have a LinkedIn mailing list of 800 people on there.
I think the goal for me right now is to basically utilize my podcast as a way to network with people and like have that 30-minute conversation without it's like an initial value add for
that would work.
Yeah, it's almost like having the first initial value add. At least they'll remember you for something rather than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just more like a guy just talking with them if you just met them at an event and then you just followed up with them and just chatted with them and you see no purpose, it's like, all right, why'd you waste your time? So might as well just have a podcast recording to have some sort of what do you call it? I don't know, like some sort of a value add to that person.
Well, unfortunately, that's just how the world works. I am looking at my analytics. The live content.
Only 4 views.
Only 4 views.
Yeah, that's better than nothing.
Better than nothing. And for a completely unplanned, unscripted improv.
I think most of these live streams don't need to be scripted. It's just you gotta have some ideas on tech and just talk.
You need ideas on tech and you need to be consistent. Like this is when I was being consistent and I was getting almost 1,000 views.
Yeah.
And I was devlogging my game dev streams and I'm going to go back to doing that.
Yeah, you need to get it over to like 1,000 or something per 1,000 views or something to at least make some monetization.
To make it monetization, yeah. The reason why I stopped is because I have a good friend but he's worried I'm going to mess up and ruin my reputation, and that is a legitimate concern. But at the same time, I'm not like the way you would mess up and ruin your reputation is to be political and take a controversial side, right?
Yes, the thing about being in politics is that, or at least I think one thing I've noticed about I've been following media for so many years now, for about like 15 years now, and one thing I kind of noticed is that I think someone will just be like, once they start saying something political, they get suckered into a rabbit hole of politics.
Yeah,
and that will basically what happens is it'll just turn their brand into like a polarizing brand where they have all their diehards and their haters. And sometimes when you're basically trapped in a box where you have to appease your diehards.
Yeah.
And if you just run out of steam to appease your diehards, you're basically screwed. Because you have haters who don't watch you or don't like you or want to throw egg at you.
Or they'll hate watch you.
Oh, they'll hate watch you, but then it's not healthy in the long run to have people hate watch you all the time.
Yeah.
So the moment you start becoming polarizing, then you're finished. It's basically the beginning of the end.
Yeah, well, the reason why I stopped my live streaming is because of his advice. But since I'm really avoiding politics like the plague when running my business, I'm just going to do the same with my live streams. Yeah. No politics, hard no politics rule, and we'll just have a big table of nerds doing nerd shit. And we only do nerd shit.
I don't think you need to talk. I don't even talk politics unless it's like, if someone's... I don't even have politics on my show unless I have someone who is in that sphere.
I wouldn't even have that because it would just cause issues. But yeah, let's definitely start the live streams up. I'm just looking at the data. And also, I was going to create a productized service that would essentially... I built this for myself. I built a small script that used AI to then analyze all the stuff to figure out what my biggest income source was. And I'm probably going to be turning that into a commercial service for people as well. But, yeah. That's the kind of things I like to build. Like for business software, I like to build very data-driven, very data-heavy software. And then for consumer software, I want to build like the apps I like are all quantitative self, like the quantitative self subreddit.
Yeah.
Like you have your goals. Okay, how close to that goal am I getting? I love that kind of stuff. It's like data-driven stuff, and that's just me being autistic probably. And also strategy in video games, they're all systems heavy. Like 4X screen strategy games have a lot of systems, a lot of stats, a lot of statistics in them, a lot of stuff like that.
I think we're just going to wrap up the stream.
Wrapping up the stream?
Yeah, it's already been an hour since we started, right?
Oh, it's been an hour.
It's like 10 o'clock already, right?
It's 10:02 for our first stream. You guys sound really far away. Okay, well...
I think next time we'll need microphone setup.
Yes, we need a microphone setup. I have a really high-quality mic.
Yeah.
Like, I was doing the streaming setup from home, and I had an industrial mic. This is a ThinkPad with just low-quality stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay. Next stream will use my nice mic. Okay, so that is good feedback. People were dropping. If the average view is only this, our audio was probably crap, and we were over the place.
Yeah, I think eventually we'll have a stream where we know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Next week?
All right, next week then.
Next week. Guys, leave comments. Tell us what you want to talk about. Call us retarded if you want to. Don't care. Just tell us exactly what you want us to talk about. Got it. Bye.
Yeah, well,
Let's go.
I think we're going to start having more...
5 views. Better than nothing.
It's better. It's a good start.